And welcome back to Who Would Win. It's the monthly Who Would Win, and it's the Espada versus the Akatsuki. Right now, the Akatsuki, they're not looking so hot. They've got, right now, their members are 2-0, with the Espada pretty much sweeping them. Scoring it basically every match, did they win or not, basically 10 on 10. Right now, it's 22-0 in the Espada's favor. But now we're into Sasori. Sasori, the puppet master of the sand, or the Sasori of the red sand, as he was also known as. Now, Sasori is an interesting individual because he does not have an actual living body. He's got one bit of living flesh left with him, but the rest of his body is actually just a puppet. He usually hangs out within another puppet inside a puppet. He also has access to the ability to just create chakra strings, have them attached to people, if he wants to do that, or capable of manipulating the third Kaze puppet, which had the ability of iron sand, which enabled him to basically manipulate iron sand, as well as secrete poison throughout that. And he also has access to over 100 puppets that he can use to swarm an opponent, and is ultimately, he was ultimately very powerful. He also has access to things like flamethrowers and hydraulic, water, super not hydraulic, but super high pressured water in his hand, which basically he can cut through stone with. So against the Akatsuki, how does he fare up? Getting this ready. Well, actually, against Aniaro Espada number 9 in his release date, and that's pretty much what I think I'm going to do from now on, is the release date of these guys. I actually think that Sasori beats Aniaro. The reason I think that is because Aniaro is the weakest of the Espada, and Sasori has poison on his head. All of his weapons are etched with a poison that is very difficult to cure. So when you start to add in the mass effect of him slicing, or not him slicing, but his monumental amount of puppets coming at him, eventually they're all going to start hitting Aniaro, and eventually they're going to kill him, especially in this very large form. Plus, you add on the fact that he has a Kazekage puppet, which allows him to manipulate the iron sand. And he has the super high-pressured water blaster in his arm and flamethrower that would allow him to pretty much slice right through him if he had to. I actually think Sasori takes that win, so that's the first win for the Akatsuki. Likewise, I actually also think he takes out Espada number 8, Saezel Laparo, I believe his name is. Now, in his release form, he could make multiple copies of whatever he wanted to by spraying a certain liquid on him. He can make a voodoo doll of someone by absorbing them into these wing-like appendages, which actually balloon out, and engulf an opponent. And then a little Russian doll that splits in half opens up with all the organs of the individual in there, and he's able to snap those or break those parts and basically snap their organs apart. But because Sasori doesn't have organ, he barely has any living tissue to begin with. That wouldn't work, which means I would imagine that Sasori would be able to capitalize on the fact that he's an inorganic being at this point, going up against someone who really values going up against an organic being like a Shinigami or whatever. So combine again, the Kazekage puppet would be a big benefit in this. You combine that with also his puppet, his puppet and his own poison. I think he does ultimately beat out Sailaporo. Now, Starrunner number 7 is an interesting one, because his Amora ability in his release form means whatever these eyes you see right here, they see and they put a stamp on, he can control them. I would imagine, though, that Sasori can also just transfer his body into a different puppet if he needs to, and basically possess that puppet and keep going on. So if he pulls out his 100 puppet techniques, he's believe Oyaka said he's only got about 52 eyes on him. So he can only take control about 52 of the puppets, which then Sasori can just easily cut down, detach the strings and all that. Or worse yet, can just go hold at bay with his strings and then just charge at us. I can't remember this guy's name. Oh, wait a minute, it should be up here. Zomari, or Zomari. He can charge them with his other puppets, take them out, and again, using a large Akatsuki puppet, I do think ultimately. Now, the one thing this guy's definitely got over Sasori is speed. He's considered the fastest of the Espada for a reason. He can move so fast he makes after images of himself, which actually very few characters in Naruto are that fast. So yeah, I would definitely say that he could probably beat Zamari. Unfortunately, after that, we're now getting into the. Sorry, I want to be sure. Oh, I wasn't here. My girlphone pull up. We're getting into the characters now who are now in levels of power that Sasori doesn't really have an answer for. When we get to Grimmjow, he could easily blitz Sasori because we see that he's fast enough to blitz him. If he goes into his resurrection, he can easily just cut apart anything Sasori throws at him. The only thing that Sasori would really have would be the Kazakage puppet. And frankly, the question would be, is the Iron Sand capable of surviving a Sero? Maybe from the low levels Espada, or definitely a Ronkar, as it is metal, so it could possibly reflect it. But an Espada level Sero at level 6 or above, I don't think he could combat that with just the Iron Sand. And even then, Grimmjow also has other techniques, like his freaking boulder or his elbow claw missiles that literally can decimate pillars of stone. So that would give his defense a serious run for his money. And then he's got the Desguerra, I can't remember the technique, the energy claws. Honestly, I don't think Sasori could take Grimmjow down, even with this poison, unfortunately. Then we get to Niratora, who's even stronger. And Niratora is blades, regenerative capability, Aharu, which is, or his iron skin, which is supposedly the toughest of the Espada. Something that the poison, at least from a blade perspective, wouldn't be able to pierce. I don't think Sasori has enough power to pierce Niratora's body. So ultimately, he's at a loss of that. I mean, he can hold him off and keep him at bay, but ultimately, I don't think he can get through his Hero. Ukihara can fly. He's got energy lances, moves faster than someone who's already moving at supersonic speeds can see and react to. Not to mention he has a second state of release, which is even more powerful than that. Unfortunately, like I said, once we get to the higher level Espada, these lower level Akatsuki members, as powerful as they are, and they are powerful, they don't match up. Hollybell is an interesting one. I could see an argument for him beating Hollybell because Hollybell's ability is water control. But at the same time, she's still capable of releasing Ceros from her blade, easily wiping away anything from the Iron Sand. She still has a hard Hero herself. And then obviously the Cascada, she could easily just dump a mountain of water on top of him and just, take him out from there. Launch Ceros all day if she really wants to. I do think ultimately she does beat him out. And then Baragon is probably one of the only guys here. I'm not going to say he swept everything, but he's probably the most difficult to beat simply just because of his Respira, and it just decays anything it comes in contact to. The Iron Sand, done. Any of his puppets, done. Chakra, done. There's nothing Sasori has. Water, like his water jet, couldn't get close enough to him. Something moving at enough speed might be able to overtake or bypass the Respira if it's moving at high enough speed. But ultimately, it's something that that Sasori isn't capable of handling. Stark, again, could easily just blitz him with a barrage of Ceros and be done with it. And then Yami's pure size alone and just could easily wipe him out with just one Cero or a Bala. Absolutely. So unfortunately, Sasori loses outright to any of the true Espada, like the highest level Espadas. But he does manage to get the first wins for the Akatsuki, with the first 3 Espada being, defeated by him. So that at least now puts us at a 27-3 score. Still not fantastic, but at least the Akatsuki are now on the board. Join us, will it be next week? Yeah, join us next week when we'll be looking at Dedera and seeing how Dedera stacks up against the Akatsuki as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you folks tomorrow. Have a good one.